you ask me, I've got a lot of years in this, and I think smaller schools are probably best for the majority of kids. Then you come back and ask, would you like to see new facilities for St. Joe in our community? And I'd say absolutely yes. So those kind of don't go with either plan, but that's how I feel. So I am here to speak tonight, and I want to speak out not on the plans, but on a group that's been left out the last 30, 40 years. And Coach Lee behind me, we've tried to do this. We went to the upper echelon and told them, try to speak out for the have-nots of St. Joe. Because when you make these decisions, when you make the boundaries, housing, schools, the path of least resistance is the have-nots. And they've kind of been pushed around, and I know that's difficult because we've had conversations and said some mean things to. But I hope going forward you guys can think about that because they are a large portion of our community. I want to tell you how we got to this point real quick. It's 1988. I'm standing in a Lafayette locker room. I'm a young coach back with Steve Neff. There's a realtor here, a very prominent realtor. I won't call him out unless you won't see me afterwards in the room. And it says, he wanted his kid, a sixth grade boy, and he wanted to play basketball at Lafayette. And we had a little talk, and just nonchalant, he says, this is 1988. And he says, are you aware that a housing addition will never, ever be built and go again to Lafayette? And I'm young, I don't even understand it. We talked a little bit, and he said, well, when Steve asked me, what are you saying? He said, any housing addition at this point forward in history will never be bust or go to Lafayette. It may on paper, but there's not going to be a kid breathing oxygen that goes there. And when he left, we thought, how can he make that statement? And we let 91, 93, 97, we see housing addition. And we get 37 years later, and everything he told us that night was true. And so we've put the have-nots aside. And I'll tell you what we've done. I'd like you to think about this. There's a fear, and I think it's unwarranted. There's a fear in the city by a certain group of going to school for kids. And that's unwarranted. What you should fear is going to school with kids that don't allow daily education to happen. Poor kids are not a problem. I meet tons of poor kids as I travel around some different schools and say hi to some kids. It's the kids who won't allow that daily education to happen. Going to school with poor kids is I think, good for your life. Thank you.